from people when they don't even buy something. And we were talking to him a little this week, just talking a little bit about what I wanted him to share, and I'm going to let him take it how he wants. But the main thing I want him to give to us is one of the things is when we present, and however we do it, whatever angle we're coming from, whether we're coming from a TLS angle, whether we're coming from a health and nutrition angle, or motives, or shopping annuity, whatever it is, it's not about that person as much as it is who they know. Because the person who is that person, they will self-identify. But so many times we are more focused on that particular person, and we want to help them. But it's really about sharing the opportunity, whatever it is, and throughout that conversation that we have, setting up the opportunity that maybe they may know the right people, and so that when we close and when we end, and he's an excellent closer, he's going to teach us about this. So I'm hoping everybody has, whether you're typing it, writing it on your tablet, or pen and paper, whatever it is, at this time, without further ado. And some of you may know who it is, and it's sometimes you're like, he is really that good. And anyone who knows me, I don't say stuff when you're actually closer to me. I might even be harder. My wife says I shouldn't do that, so I'm trying to do better with that. But if I could hire him, but he costs too much money for me now. My son that I'm blessed with, Jared McLaughlin, will go. And Jared, the floor is yours. And please, anything that you feel that will help, any background and everything. But the key is, I want you to get across for us is, what do we do and how we present? What should we do to be able to set up, not only to follow up possibly with the person, and he's an unfranchised owner too, so he understands the business. He's been around for a long time, so he understands what we're doing. But one of the challenges we have sometimes, Jared, and this is your dad as well, is that when we come to the close, and that person, even if they're interested or not interested, is getting to that next person, which is, and he's gone to a local seminar, so he understands hearing that. But you have been a master at that. Help us, oh wise one. And I'm going to mute myself.
Wait, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, hello to everyone that does and doesn't know me. I'm Jared, and I am, based off of my father's instruction here, wanted to give some pointers that I had picked up primarily when I was doing outside sales work, working directly off of referrals, that I thought could be of help to everybody else within their work within North America. So while I actually haven't worked solely off of referrals in a couple of years, and I'm doing a bit more higher level software sales now, it's still something that is incredibly important to the way everybody is going to go about their work. Because the key is, while everybody has their own friend circles, and then that's great to start, one thing that can be an issue both in my prior work for Vector and then now with Facilitate/Market America is that you will eventually run out of your circle of friends / family / acquaintances / whatever. And so if you can't get referrals, it's a bad spot. So it is just as important, probably paramount, than even getting people to agree, to join the, whether they are buying into the annuity, whether they are buying into TLS or OPC or whatever the product is, getting in front of that next great person is, incredibly important as well. So let's see. Dad, do you want me to kind of start from beginning a presentation and then run all the way through?
Yes, just
in my head?
however you want to do it, man. However you want to do it. Whatever
Okay.
you feel is best.
Okay. So the first thing I think you need to keep in mind is that in all of our heads, we know that we are looking for referrals. However, that's not always made clear when we're speaking to the people we're presenting to. So the one thing you need to always do is make sure that you're not blindsiding anybody with the concept of a referral at the end of the presentation. You need to make sure that you're kind of softballing it in a little bit at the beginning. So that way you're kind of getting a soft yes when you go to ask for the referral later. So you want to use a line that, and everybody's going to need to figure out their own way to present this, but it's going to sound something like where you're obviously going to, I appreciate you taking the time out to meet with me. I'm here to show you something that I, firmly believe in and really think that it can help with your own personal finances, whether that's just continuing to purchase what you already do, or if you want to, or if you see something here today that you like and want to invest in, that's awesome and great. However, my main goal here today is just to show you something I believe in, have a conversation with you, and if by the end of this conversation, you feel comfortable enough to recommend me to 5 or so people that also might be willing to talk to me, just nice enough people like yourself that'd be willing to sit down and have a chat. Something along those lines that you want to present it as low pressure because it is very much useful if you get great referrals out of a presentation, even if they don't buy into anything. Great referrals still make it a good presentation. So it's honest. And you do need to mean it. People can tell when you don't mean it. But saying something like that, one, presents you as genuine, which I think we always want to go for, something I personally always strive for. And two, that way when you get to the end of the presentation, it's not, oh my gosh, where did that come from? You want to talk, you want my friend's phone numbers, and people get defensive, and we don't want them defensive. Defensive people don't give referrals or recommendations. So we need to try and address that as soon as we can. Then as you go through your presentation, and again, that's going to differ depending on what your specialty is, if you can find areas or nuggets to also kind of seed that idea, that's great too. So really the more the better, as long as it's going to stay organic within the presentation. So we don't need to name drop it 20 times. But if you can add 1 or 2 more as you're going through your presentation, not just at the beginning, that's ideal as well. Then by the time you get to the end of the presentation, if you've done this well, what you should find is that people might even start helping you with the referral before you even ask for it. I'm not saying it's going to happen every single time, but once they have that idea in their heads, if you've done a good job, if you've built rapport well, whether they're buying something in the end or not, they could get to that conclusion on their own, which is always the best way for that to happen. But regardless of whether or not you get the person to buy into product, agree to be a UFO, regardless of if you have any quote-unquote success in that presentation, you can still get referrals because it works either way. If the person did buy into what you're showing at any level, then it should be pretty easy to get them to recommend you to somebody else. You just saw something you liked. There's got to be a good chance that other people you know will see something they like. So that's the easy one. But conversely, if you go through and they say, hey, this isn't a fit, they don't see anything they want, that's perfectly fine. But it's a way for them for you almost to be indebted, or they feel indebted almost, where it's like, all right, well, fine, I didn't see anything, I didn't help you by buying anything. However, maybe I can at least point you to somebody that I know that would be interested in this. So regardless of whether or not you feel like you had a quality presentation from a sales side of things, referral should happen regardless. I feel like I'm talking a little bit. Should I pause? Questions, anybody? Is this making sense?
Now, this is really good. Anybody have any questions? You can come off and mute if you have any questions for Jared at this time before he continues. No? It doesn't seem like you have any questions, Jared, so you can keep going if you have some more stuff.
Okay. So then once you get to the end, another key thing is, and something that I definitely found was occurring to me earlier on in my sales career, is that we don't address referrals the same way we address the rest of the presentation. The key is not to show any slip or decrease in energy or yes, I'd say energy. Essentially, we need to go through the referral process in the same way we go through the rest of the presentation. We can't view it as a alternate or auxiliary part of the presentation. It is every bit as important as everything else that came before it. So make sure that if you treat it as important, they will treat it as important. So a lot of it comes back to you. If you have a very blasé or laissez-faire way of going through the referral, hey, maybe like if you could think of somebody, like maybe that'd be cool. That's a bit of an exaggeration. But if you're going through it and you're not displaying the correct amount of effort, they won't either. So always lead by example. If you stress the importance, they should see it in your face and in your tone, whether you're presenting in person or virtually. Then when you stress that importance, the second thing you need to do is that very often you might say, hey, who do you know? And that kind of just very open-ended question typically isn't very effective. There are some people in the world that you can throw it out and not be very precise about it, and they'll give you back 10 different people you can talk to. However, most of the time when you're trying to get referrals, you're going to need to do some coaching. So the idea is you want them to open up their contact list on their phone or on their laptop or whatever. You want them to actually go through and scroll and look at some names. It's number one, not just have them sit and tap their pen on the table and rack their brain, because we're humans and they're going to forget people if they're not actually going through something. So the first key is always try to get them to look through an address book or something of some kind as a good memory jogger. Then as they're doing that, you're going to want to use what you've picked up through your presentation and as you've built rapport as kind of little keys to help you unlock referrals in a sense. So if you met this person and you know that they go to Battlefield Baptist Church, you can suggest, hey, who do you know at church? Who do you know in your kids' youth group? Who do you know if you have any family, if you have neighbors, if you have friends? You want to use pretty much everything you can about that person that you picked up to help kind of guide them to your next person. Yeah, to your next person. Because if you do a good job here, they should be able to pick up a couple names per place. So obviously neighbors is an easy place. If they have family, and again, because with this, they don't need to be nearby. So it really could be anybody in America, really. But try to kind of guide them in the way you want them to go, not just here's a piece of paper and a pen, go at it. So it really should be kind of a tag team sort of process as best you can.
Quick question. That's some great advice. Now, Jared, when you got a referral and it was a person you didn't know, mm-hmm. How much time did you spend on because you don't just like come in and just immediately go into the presentation. You were talking about here how you want to try to get some background through the presentation so you can, at the end, when you're asking for referrals, you have some background to actually ask. At the upfront, before you even start the presentation, what do you found as a good rule of thumb as the amount of time for kind of chit chat, getting to know them? Let's say you got a referral, so you don't know this person, and when you were doing Cutco, this was all in person. So whether it's in person or we're using like the webinar we're using now, how much time should we do? And do you have any also besides time, any ideas on like best ways to kind of break the ice, so to speak?
So when it comes to time, I don't think there's a hard rule. I don't want to tell you exactly 5 minutes, exactly 10, exactly 30. I think that it's going to depend, one, on you and your style, but then two, it's also going to depend on who you're talking to. So if your style is chatty and the other person's style is pretty chatty, I'm perfectly fine with half an hour of just small talk at the beginning. But typically, so it really can vary. I'd say at minimum 5 minutes, at least 5. If you can get to 10, that's pretty good. But I would no less than 5. You don't want to just say hi and just jump right into it. That's never a good rule for anybody. I don't think anybody requires that little rapport building. As far as icebreakers go, this kind of ties into where I was about to go, where once you've gotten the names from the person, however many it is, you want to get a little bit of background on who those names are. So I don't just want a list that says Josh Smith, Charlie Johnson, Suzanne Baxter, 571-321-5644. So names and numbers are good, or names and emails or whatever you get. But ideally, I'd like to see Susan Johnson, her son, Rex, play soccer with my son, Billy, or whatever. I'd like to get a little bit of just a blurb on the person. And again, this isn't going to be doable every single time, but this is an ideal situation. So this person goes to the same church as me. That's my cousin. This is my brother-in-law. This is my ex-coworker. This is my current coworker. And if you have that, then that kind of gives you your setup right away. So if I'm going in and I know that you work with the last person I spoke to, I can say, oh, hey, how long have you been at Accenture? What do you do there? How do you like it? How did you meet so-and-so? How long have you two known each other? And right there, I mean, you probably get the answer to those questions. That's 5 minutes of rapport right there. And then again, as that conversation goes, just be yourself. So if I know that, your kids play basketball together, I'm a big basketball fan, that's going to be easy for me to talk about. What position does your son play at? What's his favorite team? Whatever it is. So look for ways. You always want to be yourself. So look for ways where you can honestly engage with the other person, and getting little, blurbs or nuggets from on the referral page itself, I think is a great way to do it. And when truly in doubt, you can always fall back on the weather if you have to. But those other things are definitely much better.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, and that's something I know I haven't been doing, is that if I get a referral, ask a little bit about how they know each other while I get the referral. So like while I'm writing, he gives us like, well, how did you guys meet? How do you know each other? And then even spend a little time on that. So let's take again let's frame it a little bit more. Let's say sometimes we have people are willing to have a presentation with us, but they don't have a lot of time. They only say they have a half hour. So 5 minutes, so that's where we are limited on the amount of chit-chat we have. So we're still okay with 5 minutes, and I just have to maybe cut some stuff out to make sure the rest of it is only 25 minutes with whatever I'm doing. Does that make sense?
That'd be my suggestion. You try to get 5 minutes of rapport and just go through the rest of it faster.
Right. And okay. All right. Anything else?
I mean,
go ahead.
You'll need to save at least 5 minutes for referrals. I would think longer to really do it well. Ideally, I'd like the referral process to go on for a while, because that means they're really thinking, they're really trying to get you the best people, not just the first people that came to mind.
Right.
And then this is where you can really dig in so that you have a plan of approach. You know what you're going to say a little bit when you go and reach out to those new people.
Okay.
So again, I would always try to budget time for referrals. Like if you're coming up on the final 5-10 minutes, even if the presentation is going well, I would try to skip to a part where you can kind of close it off in a sense, and save time for referrals. I'd rather not go through the whole presentation and be like, oh, that was a great presentation, so I'm not going to worry about referrals. I think that's the wrong mentality.
Okay, that's really good advice. That's definitely not something, because I'm always going as far as I can to the presentation. So what I'm hearing here is that I need to leave, and you're right, I would like, it's more, because it's more about the next person anyway. One of the things we keep talking about, it's about the next person unless that person self-identifies. And even if that person self-identifies, you want to be to the next person, because sometimes people self-identify and then fall off the face of the earth. So, wow, okay.
And if the
ahead.
person really is, if it really is a quality presentation and it really is going well, they should be willing to give you more time.
Right.
Even if it's not at that moment, if it really is going well, then just say, hey, I know we only have 30 minutes right now. That was before they knew what it was. Now that they're legitimately interested, maybe they can give you more time right now. Whatever it is that they thought they had to go to is no longer a crucially important thing. You now have something else that has their attention.
Right. Now,
and so even if you can't do it right now, just get more time from them later and do the referrals now.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that, how would you do it? Let's role play a little bit on that. So let's say we're at I guess you only have a half hour. You did 5 minutes of rapport. If we're at minute 20, it's going well, but you know you only have 30 minutes. Do you start the referral process then, or you go to minute 25 approximately? What do you do?
How much time left until I finish the presentation portion?
That's what I'm saying. You either have minute 20 would mean you had 10 minutes left until you hit 30. So basically, let's say you have 5 minutes of rapport. At minute 20, you've done 15 minutes of presentation. Minute 25, you've done 20 minutes of presentation.
Right.
So again, when we're in that sort of time frame, and then if you're thinking it's going well, I know a lot of this is not, it's an art, because you got to feel. A
lot of it's feel.
Yeah. If you feel it's going well, do you go at minute 20, said, hey, or maybe you're just maybe it's minute 22, let's say, and you say, hey, I know that we only have 30 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to get through. How would you transition that so you could follow up with them? It's going well, so you want more, but then do the referrals at the same time. What would you do? So let's do that right now. Because we're actually recording this, so people are going to be, I know I'm going to re-listen to this, and I'm going to put it on Facilitate Solutions. This is going to be follow-up and referrals, so this will be on Facilitate Solutions in the next day or two. So I know I need to listen to this again. Just go through exactly, and again, you know the business enough, okay, so you can transition to this from again, you know what we're focusing on, whether just use it from a shopping annuity perspective. So you've been showing the shopping annuity, it's going well, you're presenting, just say what you would say to transition this from, I guess there's a number of things. You want to be able to schedule the follow-up to do the rest of it, but you want to leave it open enough where they go, nah, we can keep going, but also at the same time, you want to get referrals. I know it's a lot of things at the same time, but I mean, that's why we brought you on the call, because you're that good. So how would you do that? Just go through exactly what you would say.
Okay. So before I kind of role play that, I would say you do want to check at the start for time. So if there is a hard stop, if this is an 8 o'clock presentation and I know there's a hard stop at 8:30, I want to know that before I even begin presenting.
Right.
So the first thing I'm going to do on the call, kind of within rapport building and whatnot, is, hey, I know that we scheduled 30 minutes. Do you need to leave at 8:30? Or like, is it a hard stop at 8:30? Or like, if things are going well, would we be able to go a little bit over? I would pose something like that in the beginning. If they say, no, I have a hard stop, I'm getting off, I have to go to work, I have to leave for work exactly at 8:30. So regardless, I have to leave exactly then. So then I know, regardless of how well I'm doing, Susie's leaving at 8:30, so there's no chance I go over. But if the person doesn't say that, then at that time, that's where it's a feel thing, where if they didn't tell me I have to leave exactly at 8:30 because of XYZ, then I might just continue on with it and risk it or chance it in a sense, assuming that if this is where you have to kind of trust your own feel and your own gut, where if you feel like they are following, then it's going to go a little over, but that's okay because they're on board with it from what you can see. But if we're at that point where I'm starting to run out of time, I say, hey, I know we're coming pretty close to being out of time here, and I haven't really quite gotten through everything that I wanted to talk to you about. I know that it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that you seem to be following what I've been presenting thus far.
Yes, I am following. I have been following so far.
Okay. So if there is a bit of an interest there, and I know that we do have a hard stop and that you have to leave here in about the next 8 minutes, I'm going to propose something to you and let me know what you think about this. So what I think would be best for us is to kind of take a pause here. I mentioned to you back at the start that I was looking to see if you might be willing to introduce me to a few other kind people that I can have a conversation with similar to the one that we've just had. I'd like to spend a little bit of time on that right now, just for these final few minutes here while I have you, and then also schedule a new time where we can go through maybe another half hour later on in the week where you're going to have a bit more time and attention and you're not rushed, worrying about what you have to get to. So that way, we both have each other's full attention there, and we can continue to see if this is something that'll fit for you. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So, and then from there, move into asking for the referral portion of the call, which is the final few minutes.
Okay. Wow, that's good. That's some good stuff. You must have a great mom.
I do.
She's smiling ear to ear when she sees that. Anybody have any questions? Please do not be bashful. I don't know. Like I said, I can't afford him anymore. The boy makes.
There's got to be one. There's no way there's not one.
He makes twice as much money as I do now, so he's done unbelievably well for himself. But you were very clear on what it's, so they may not have any questions. Okay, so if no questions, any feedback, anybody want to make any comments, anything, anybody learn anything on that?
Hey, Jared, I really liked your approach about establishing expectations at the outset of the meeting and being careful to recognize hard stops. And if I were in that position and someone did that to me, that would really give me a lot of more respect for that person and make me want to hear more just because they were so respectful of my time. And I love how you said that, you're tracking with what I'm saying. You seem to be interested, but I haven't been able to get through everything I wanted to share with you. However, when you talked about getting to the next person, would it be okay if we spend the next 5 minutes or so talking about some other people who you feel might? I like how you did that. That was very, very smooth and very, very natural. It didn't feel salesy. It didn't come across salesy. It just came across like, you're looking for a referral, but as nicely as you can put it, without me feeling like I have to do anything. I would want to do it.
Anybody else?
This is Carol. Thank you, Jared. And I like the part where, because I tend to wind down at the end of a meeting with somebody, so I like that you shared don't decrease in energy when you get to the referrals. I like that.
That's
No,
very
that was good. That was
Yeah.
good. I know I do the same thing, Carol. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy trap to fall into because I think everybody gets really hyped up to do a really good presentation. And especially if you have done a good one, you're kind of patting yourself on the back a little bit. You're like, yeah, that went well. All right, great. Okay. Oh, right. I got to do referrals now. And then you're like, it's not, and you don't approach it the same way. It's really easy to fall into, but you have to like fight it and stop yourself from doing it. You can't look at it as the afterthought, like the presentation's the game, and then this is, that thing that comes after. Like, it's all the game. Referrals are fourth quarter. Like, it's crunch time. This is where the money is made. Like, this is really what's important is referrals. So it's crunch time, not an after party.
Yeah.
Well, what you just said there actually helped me being a sports person is that the referrals is the fourth quarter.
Right. That's very good.
That is very good because there's never a time I've thought of referrals as the fourth quarter. It was the epilogue. It wasn't even overtime.
Locker room.
It was the locker room. Yes. So that is just that, that's the worth the price of admission. That right there is to remember. Actually, I'm just going to tweak my presentation in a sense in my mind. Now, wait, Kyle, referrals, that's fourth quarter. So that's where we're really the money, like you said. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you make the money and everything. And I know I've fallen down on that too. So thank you for that. That's really good. Fourth quarter. Referrals are the fourth quarter. Anybody else? So. Well, Jared, thank you so much.
Contact that I'm establishing a relationship now. Actually, this is good because this person that I'm working with is a referral from someone that is not really interested in the business.
Right.
But I asked her if she knew anyone that would be interested in the chapter.com site which she knows about. And she said her daughter-in-law. And I got a contact recently about the daughter-in-law. We text each other. So how would you suggest, Jared, in a situation like that? I don't know too much. I know the mother, not very, very well, but just met her recently on the retreat I went to. So the daughter-in-law and I have texted briefly, and I've already set up an appointment for Tuesday for her for the webinar. Just through text, should I maybe try to call her? She seemed to be a very busy mom. She only did text. She didn't call me. What do you suggest in a case like that in terms of building that rapport before we do the Shop to Earn presentation?
Okay. You said you have the presentation booked for Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday at 8:30, I think.
Okay. But your goal is just trying to build rapport before the presentation.
Right. For example, so I'll be doing the presentation. So this is what we do. So as you know, we have the online. I have my online calendar on Edmonia. Put that in. Great job, Edmonia, doing that, by the way. And so she knows the mom just a little bit and got the referral for this person, but we don't know this person at all. So I'm guessing that's where I have to spend like 5 to 10 minutes kind of getting to know that both Edmonia and I, because we'll be on the call, getting to know this person a little bit because we really don't have that much. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think you have to do it. I wouldn't say that you have to start texting with the intention of I'm trying to build rapport before the call. Like I think again, you always want, at least for me, I always want to be genuine. So if you have something right now that you know that pertains to that person that you want to talk to them about, then yes, send a text now about whatever that thing is. But if you don't have any of that stuff yet, it's okay to wait until the call and try and talk to the person then.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's necessary per se.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's great. Thanks, Jared.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Please don't be shy.
This is Valerie, Jared, and thank you, Jared, for such a good presentation. I was thinking in terms of, like the timeshare. I've gone with timeshare presentations, and at the tail end, they give you like this list to do the 10 referrals or something of that nature. So what do you think? You're doing you notify them up front that you're interested in referrals at the tail end, is my understanding. So, and then at the tail end, the fourth quarter, Kyle says, we're going to do a list, or, you just ask for the list of 5 people, and then you do a follow-up call to understand the background of those 5 people if you only have the 30, 40 minutes in that presentation. How do you deal with that? Is there a separate phone call to at least call them to find out the background from those referrals, or how do you pursue that?
Okay. Okay, so I hope I heard you correctly. So
Okay.
What you want to do is within those get the background on on the referral. Within each name, you want to get the background as much as you can on each of those people. Another thing
you want to get that background at that initial meeting.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to find out. You want to get
correct, right.
The initial meeting.
At the initial
Right.
meeting. You don't want to follow up to try to get the background.
Okay.
No, we're doing that all in one. So if I'm talking to George Lewis, and he says, oh, I know this guy named Corey Davis. I'd say, oh, who's Corey? And he says, oh, Corey's a guy that I went to college with, and we've been friends ever since. Oh, where'd you go to college? We both went to Mizzou. Okay. You can keep going from there. What did you study at Mizzou? Whatever. But at least there, I have something. So now it's, hey, when I call Corey or when I text Corey or whatever it is, I can say, hey, I got your number over from George. I know that you guys have been really close since Mizzou. We were talking about this opportunity to save money with online spending. He thought you might want to save some money online, blah, 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 and then you go right into your pitch. So it doesn't need to be a lot, but just any little bit helps when it comes to just coming across as a person. Because lots of times when you do stuff like this, people don't see you as a person. So we're trying to humanize ourselves as best we can.
The other thing I like that you just said is lots of times, and I know I've been falling down, it's like when you're going to the next person and you're trying to contact them, whether it's on text, messaging, or a phone call, is that when you say that so-and-so referred you, you actually saying, hey, so-and-so said you guys went to school together, this shows the person on the other end, hey,
I'm real.
You're real. You must know this. How many people knew? So that's one thing. Is like if you know something that you can refer or mention in that first interaction with that referral that proves you do know the person. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Because normally it's like, hey, so-and-so said I should call you, and they're like,
right.
So that humanized.
That's very good. Yeah.
That's another very good tip. I'll be listening to this audio a lot. So, I mean, that is something which I know I have not done once, ever. So, that's really good.
So, Dad, using you as an example, if someone called you and they said, hey, and you refer them to a guy named Garvin, and you say, oh, Garvin and I have been friends ever since we went to school at UVA. Oh, what year did you graduate at UVA? Oh, 86. Okay, great. So, and then boom, I can keep going from there, and I know that you guys play basketball together, and if I want to keep digging, if I have that time to keep digging in and learning even more about that referral, that's great. Like, if I have unlimited time, keep digging. If I don't have unlimited time, then I'm getting that quick blurb. They go to the same church. It's your cousin. And maybe whatever. Then we went to school. We were coworkers. We were whatever. We play in a soccer league on Sundays. And then if it's a soccer league, I can say, hey, how long is your season? What position do you play? How many goals have you scored? Whatever it is. Right. But it's really just get that thing and then just be a person and talk, and just converse. from there, it's typically easy once you have that starting point.
Gotcha. Question: in 2018, getting ready to 2019, with what we do, with how our business, I know it's slightly different from Vector. Do you believe it's better to use phone calls or texts or messaging, or it varies? What is it like? What should we ask? Should we specifically ask? That's one of the things I was wondering about, because a lot of people, when you actually call them on the phone, they don't pick up anymore, or they screen it and stuff. So I don't know. What is your opinion on that?
Ideally, I always want a phone call if I can get one. You're right that they're trickier to get. But if you're working off of emails or messaging, that is kind of an on-demand type thing. So if I want to talk to you, I can. And if I don't want to talk to you, I can just respond in 6 hours, which has its pros because you're not bothering people as much. So that is a pro. But the con is it's very easy for them to avoid you. If I get you to pick up the phone, it's much less likely that you duck me and then run away and hang up on me than you would to just look at my text and not say anything, or look at my email and not write anything.
Okay. Now, the other question is that, with new people, calling people on the phone is very frightening, where texting is easier. What would be your suggestion with a new person? Should they try to do the phone or texting?
If they feel comfortable on the phone, then go for the phone. If they don't, then just text.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think it's necessary. I just want to make sure it's on the record saying the phone is better. The phone is better, because I'd much rather just actually have a conversation with you, because a text conversation that goes for 8 hours could likely have been handled with a 5-minute phone call many times.
Okay.
So the phone is more efficient. If you don't feel comfortable with it, that's fine. But I just have to make sure it will work better if you can get it. If you can get somebody to pick up the phone and talk to you, that is your best chance of getting in, as opposed to a text.
Okay. Well, then let's do a little bit about that before we leave. So if you're making let's do this with your mom. Let your mom do the role play. So you're calling Angelique, and you don't know her. Okay, and you got information from Auntie Dawn, and with Dawn told you that she knows Angelique from the kids were in the same band. They were in band together. That's all you have.
Okay.
So Ange, you're going to pick up when the phone rings. So Ange, the phone's ringing and you pick it up.
Good afternoon. This is Angelique.
Hi, Angelique. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm awesome. So this is Jared McLaughlin. I don't think the name's going to ring a bell at all. I was actually talking to Don Tolbert the other day, and I know that your son Jordan and Joey play in the same band, and so I was talking to her about kind of her shopping habits the other day, and something that I've been using to help me save money when I'm shopping online. So it was something that we got to talking about, and she thought that it might be something you and I should speak to. I actually promised her I would give you a call. Now, I know I'm calling. Yeah. So I know I'm calling you out of the blue right now, but would you have a few minutes later in the day or later in the week for us to chat a little bit, or is now okay?
Actually, now would be okay, because I have a half an hour before I have to go run an errand. So this would be as good a time as any, because I have a very busy week coming up. I'm always looking to save money wherever I can. So I would love to hear a little bit more about what you're using to help you save money shopping online.
Okay, great. And then
we would go into it. All right. that was really good. One of the things I guess we have been talking about that we could use also, Jay, I'd like to hear your feedback, is that we've tweaked the shopping annuity process since we offer 4 client options. We offer 2 customer options, a member option, and obviously the advisor option where you make a lot of money. I don't, like you were talking about, you don't want to have bait and switch, and one of the things we did on this last presentation that we did today, which we will be putting up as well, is we actually mentioned in the beginning that there is a kind of like there's an advisor option, which is the $15,000 to $150,000 a year in 2 to 3 years. But it's hard to like put that in the beginning. People are much more open to hearing about saving money shopping. Do you believe it's enough to say, should we say make money shopping, so when I get to the end and talk about the advisor program, because you're actually making money on that. Would that be a better word for us to use?
Make money shopping as opposed to save money?
Right, because you're not going to save $150,000 a year.
True.
Okay.
Yes, I like that better then.
Okay. Because we do want, if we're doing the presentation, we're going to focus more on the shopping part in, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, but there is the part which is 15,000 to 150,000. And as your mom, we were talking about this today, we are tweaking our spending to earn presentation to, we have a brand new chart on this, which your mom just saw it for today, which she thought was tremendous. I don't know if I showed you the chart. And everybody, actually, let me put this up on the screen. I know some of you are on the phone, so you're not going to be able to see it. But this is a brand new chart we have actually put together. I have to give credit to, we've been doing some beta testing and sending this out to individuals, and one of their feedback was to create a chart that looks like this, which we do at the very end. It's at the very end of the presentation. So hopefully those of you who are online, you can see the chart with the different client options that we provide at Facilitate. And again, you can tweak this. If you're not working with Facilitate, you can obviously use what we're doing or tweak it to match what you're doing. This is, again, from a shopping annuity perspective on this. And Angelique, since you saw it for the first time, why don't you talk a little bit about how it impacted you, because this is at the very end of the presentation after we've gone through everything.
I think the biggest point that I want to convey is that when you're talking about the different options in the beginning, people are trying to process new information, and it's very easy for the whole idea of you can actually make a lot of money with this business. You're thinking shopping, and you're not thinking necessarily making an ongoing income. You may hear it, but since it's your first time hearing it, it may not be in the forefront of your brain. So when you get to the very end of the webinar presentation, and I see this rubric here with all the different benefits for each program, even if I have forgotten that this is a way for me to create an ongoing income, significant ongoing income, walkaway income, income that I get while I'm sleeping, it's right there in the last column. So I think it just does a great job of reminding person, yes, you can make money, you can save money while you shop, but also you can also create significant passive income with this opportunity. So I like the fact that if the person has forgotten about this, or without you having to even tell them again about it, in case you said, oh, did they really hear it the first time? I'm not sure they heard me. When they see this rubric, you can see that it's right there. So that's what I liked about it. And I like the fact that it gives you, it's very clean and simple. I can see what my benefits are in each program. I can see what I have in one, what I give up when I go to the other one, and what I gain by going, moving more further from the left to the right. I can see what I'm gaining, what I'm losing. And it makes it very clear how I can get the maximum bang for my buck, the greatest ROI, by looking at this. So I just think it's fabulous.
So So, again, terminology, we do not want to be used car salesmen. But it's an easier entree for people to understand shopping. And one of the things that happened with the presentation today, the prospect herself mentioned, well, I can start at one spot and move up as I want. And that's like, yes, whenever you want. You can do it however you wish. You can move to different levels at a different time. And this is a perfect, again, gradual way to do that. And so when we're talking to people, again, using the technique that Jared is saying, and again, the phone call, that's another thing. I'm going to start using the phone a little bit more because he's saying that's better. And I had never thought of saying, hey, you know, do you have some time now? And again, I'm going to listen to what he said and actually say it his way. Do you have some time now, or can we schedule it for a little later this week on that? Now, Jared, a presentation for us on the phone is like a little difficult. For you, you couldn't do I don't know, a phone. Obviously, Cutco was a visual presentation. Ours is like a visual presentation, so I don't know if we can really do it on the phone right then. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but
should we have some?
I don't know. I was just spitballing, honestly.
Right. No, I understand. I'm asking a question also because a lot of the stuff like I have up here now, showing you the slides and the visuals and stuff like that. I really believe we need to like show the visuals just talking to it. So I think the better thing for us, because we have, you know, it's more visual, is just to say, you know, try to schedule something for later in the week. Does that make sense?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. So for us, we would just schedule something for later in the week. Unless you think you can give, now folks, if you feel you can give a good enough word.
Unless they're by a computer.
Right, yes. Right, that's true. You could just say that's true.
If you have 20 minutes right now, I can send you the link, and you just click on that link, and we can, you know, I can show you the 30-minute presentation if you have access. You can ask the person, do you have access to the internet right now on your computer?
Right. No, it doesn't have to be the computer. That's even better because one of the things you can send them the link for. Remember, if they're on the smartphone, they can download the app, and we can actually show the stuff on the app, which actually does show the visuals. So that is doable, Jared. Okay.
Not very likely in this busy world we live in. It's going to be a rarity when someone says, yes, I have 30 minutes for you to do an online presentation with me, either on my computer or my phone. But we can be ready for those one in a gazillion times that it might happen.
Right.
I'm just comparing that to what I do now, which is it's rare. I'd say the same thing, where it's rare if I'm calling someone and then they agree to see a presentation on the spot. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Okay. And if I can if I can get a presentation right now, why not?
Right. Right. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else? This is so good. I will send. Someone just asked me to have a presentation of the copy of the chart. I'll be sending a presentation on. It's going to be the latest update of the spending to earn presentation. I will be putting that up after I get off the call. So I'm going to take off the one that's on there now. So this will be the latest version that we put up and change very quickly. A couple of changes that we did to the presentation while we're on. First of all, if there's no more questions for Jared, I do want to give him a chance to get back and doing what he does. Jared, thank you so much for helping us with this. We will definitely, I know your dad is going to be listening to this in his car and practicing some of the techniques you said for us to use. So thank you so much. For the rest of you, let me quickly show you.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared. Yes, that was
You're welcome, everybody. My pleasure.
Great job. Excellent.
Amazing. So very quickly for everybody else, changes on the slides if you have been looking at them before. On the gift card slide, one of the things we've been getting feedback is to be able to answer the question for the folks who say, What makes you different from, what's that thing?
eBay.
eBay. I was going to say e-gifts. Okay? E-gifts. Gift cards is the first place where I talk about it. We need to emphasize the fact that you are a human shopping advisor. Ebates does not have someone who will be able, from whatever a customer, we are, as a human being, we help them set up and help them to use the shop.com platform. Okay, that's number one. So I've added that to the gift card slide. So that bullet item number 3 is brand new. Also, if you look at the note there, it is part of the shopping annuity customer and member program. It is a differentiator to upsell. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you that in a little bit later. Here's the other slide that some of you have not seen, which is brand new, is that when we go, after we show the first partner store customer and how much money they make, we show traditional investment strategies that people use and show them the huge difference of return on investment between a savings account, money market, CD, treasury bill, and the lowest level of the shopping annuity. The lowest level of the shopping annuity is more than twice as much as the best kind of traditional safe annuity. And then emphasize the fact that with all of those other annuities, you have to have separate money. Money in addition to what you're using in your life. The shopping annuity one is no new money. So that's a new slide that we added as well. On this shopping annuity customer slide, we emphasize, again, the shopping annuity advisor. This is an expert personal shopping concierge who provides advice and answers for any shopping challenge. That is on the way even corporately, but we're going to do it now. And to emphasize the fact that we are, again, this is a differentiator between us and not just Ebates, but other companies. But when you want to talk about where we differentiate, you must emphasize, now these slides aren't new, but emphasize our products, our exclusive products, are differentiators because nobody else carries them, and how great they are, and then give stories while you're going through these slides. And obviously you can change these slides I send, you can modify them for your favorite products. I just put 5 in here. You may have a different favorite product that you have a story on, put those in, put that in. Don't make it too long. You can take some of the ones we have out. These incentives you've seen before. Okay, we add double cash back. That's a differentiator where we even pay you cash back for your for exclusive products for your referrals purchases. Okay, and our 2% cash back for referral purchases is higher than anybody else out there. Another differentiator. Okay. And then going to the part, okay, now this again, this is Facilitate Solutions, is what Angelique and I are teaching. Again, those, I know Edmonia is doing the same thing. I know Valerie is planning on doing what we're doing here. When you get to this part, this is it when a shopping annuity customer has a number of referrals and they're making repeat purchases along with the person who was the shopping annuity customer. If they are qualifying, if them and their, again, the people who are shopping from them are actually purchasing at least $200 in retail of exclusive products every 3 months, they are already qualifying as a UFO to do that. Now, for a member, what we're saying is, hey, I'm going to show them the business so they know it, but they can just get 25% cash back now on everything. Why? Because they're going to get the wholesale retail benefit now. That's why it can go up from 4% to 25%, as long as they're willing to do the $130 a year membership fee. It's the UFO registration. I'm not going to mention that now because it's weird saying UFO. People understand members. but the money is a lot bigger. That's another differentiator. Okay, so when you're trying to say, how are we better than Ebates, we're way better than Ebates. It's not even close. They do have some stuff that they do that's the same to us, but to be able to, again, talk to them, and then you come to the final slide. This then has, as Angelique says, has everything up there, and then on the bottom for the shopping annuity advisor, you've been talking about advisor throughout this. And then you do mention this one and talk about how an advisor is just a member who becomes a professional. They get trained, it's ongoing, get paid while you train, and at the end of the 2 to 3 year trainings of working 8 to 15 hours a week, you get paid an ongoing $15,000, $150,000 a year income, whether you work or not. And then the last slide you would go is that it's your choice. What would you prefer? And once we get here, there is no one who has ever said, I want to keep making other people money. Then once they say, I'd like to make money for myself, you go back and you say, which program do you like? I basically say, which program made your heart skip a beat more, or whatever you want to use, and wait for them to answer. They always pick one. And then you, and again, through, as Jared said, you set up your follow-up. And now what I'm going to be doing differently, they pick this. I'm going to have to, my transition, and again, if I'm running out of time, I'm going to skip certain other slides here. I'll skip these wherever I am, and I'm going to go to the final slide to show that, and then ask what they want, you know, what they would like better. I'll still then go to this, ask that, go back, find out what they want, and then do the referrals, because we already talked about it. It's the fourth quarter as opposed to like it's a follow-up or it's the denouement. So that is just, so when you see this, and again, ask me questions. This video, we're going to post this on the Everyday Steps website as well. We will also be putting up, there's going to be a lot of stuff, I'm going to space it though. Everyday Steps, we're going to put on the brand new training video on the Spending to Earn presentation. That will go up probably not tonight. Maybe I'll do one tonight and something else tomorrow morning. So maybe I'll do the Spending to Earn. This is a brand new one. Angelique was on fire on this presentation. I'm telling you, this is a presentation not to send out, because folks, sending out the videos doesn't work as well as when you are interacting. Now, schedule with your senior business partner if you're not ready, if you want to use Spending to Earn, or you're using TLS presentations or whatever, if you're not comfortable doing them yet, please schedule them and have your senior partner do them for you until you are comfortable. Okay? If you like Spending to Earn, everybody should know where to get my online schedule. I will do it for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're in my business or not. It doesn't matter. Okay? We want everyone to succeed and keep seeing this, but watch these presentations, okay, and watch them over and over again so you can get better. I can't emphasize enough the Spending to Earn presentation, which will go up within the next hour. Angelique was amazing during the product stuff. I tell you, I mean, you'll be blown away, and so you'll get better. Anyway, I know we went over a little bit from today. I hope it was beneficial. Any quick questions for me or Angelique before we close for tonight? Great job with everybody being on here. I saw we had 12 people on here. Great job doing this for your business and for your future, even though, you know, we just came from a great local. Folks, also I'm going to be sending out something, Tim and I have been talking, Tim Hampton and I think Tim's on as well, is that a number of us, it's a long time between December 1st, in fact, it's 2 months between, over 2 months, December 1st, and Miami is Feb 6th, 7th, or something like that. So I think there's going to be something in between. There may be a basic 5 or something, but a number of us are going to go to see Kelly Whited and go to the Eastern Shore local, which I think is on January, January 5th? Is that what it is? I think it's January 5th. I have to double check. I know, what is it? When is it? I think it's January 5th.
It should be the first Saturday.
Okay, so that's January 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are interested in going, because I'm going to get ready to order some tickets for Angelique and I, please let myself or Tim know, because we're also thinking that we might try to get a van and meet like somewhere in Tyson's or something like that, and then all of us drive over together, or at College Park. Actually, I think College Park was like the best place to meet for the folks in Maryland and the folks in Virginia, and then we take like a 12-passenger van and go together to Salisbury to ease the driving and also build camaraderie. It's cool, like taking road trips together. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a local seminar, so it's a $30 investment as always. And Kelly Whited, I've just heard amazing things about him.
You met Kelly too.
That's what I'm saying. I've heard amazing things about him, and Angelique, Tim, and myself got to sit with him. I'm saying as a trainer, got to sit with him during the gala, and he's such a nice guy, and he is really, really funny. I mean, really funny. And he is actually the sponsor of David Whited. He was the one who started the Whited Empire. So now you know, you have David Whited. Kelly started, then his parents and David, and now the young kids, Colin and Michaela. Yeah, all of them came. That's right. Colin Haskins came from is in their business. I forgot.
Hey,
Thanks,
Kyle. If I could about that. So
yes.
He also mentioned at that dinner that he has over 70 people in his organization making over $100,000 a year.
Oh, that's right. Over 70.
Trainer.
Yes, and so so Andy specifically tried to talk to him at the gala and convinced him to come for this training. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the evening. Please, please, please. This is a great time to contact people. People are like busy, but home more often, and you can get a lot of some folks are even willing to sit down and talk to you, but what they're a lot is say, contact me after the holidays. And you can get a lot of those, and if they say that, then they're expecting you to contact them. So this is actually a great time to get your funnel going. Okay, and hopefully we'll all do better. I'm planning on doing better with my referrals now that I have this. This is like really, it gives me, I feel some of the best training and ammunition to actually go forward and get additional referrals. All right. Love you guys. Have a great evening.
Love you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
talk
you
to
very
you later.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
night, guys. Yeah.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.